Hi, in the previous videos we have discussed the OSI model and the TCP/IP. So in this video we will discuss protocols in each of the layers. So today we will study the protocols used in all the layers. Now as discussed in the previous videos, we know that the OSI model has 7 layers and TCP/IP has 5 layers. That is, the application, presentation and session layer of the OSI model is combined as one layer in TCP/IP. So now let us discuss the protocols in these layers. First, let us discuss physical and data link layer protocols. One of the common protocol used is the Ethernet, which allows devices to transmit data. And one of the common Ethernet media type is 10BASE-T, which transmits 10 Mbps over a distance of 100 meters. But nowadays fast Ethernets are used. Another protocol which is used is token ring protocol. This protocol is mostly used in LANs. It is used to provide fair access to the channel. That is, the device which gets the token can transmit the data. Another protocol is FDDI, which stands for Fiber Distributed Data Interface. It uses optical fiber to transmit data and can transmit data fast over longer distances. Next, let us discuss network layer protocols. First one is ARP, or Address Resolution Protocol. This ARP protocol is used to obtain the physical address or the MAC address when the IP address is known. Now we have seen in the earlier videos that the physical address or the MAC address is attached at the data link layer. So this ARP protocol is used to obtain the MAC address of the next hop and then give it to the data link layer. So this protocol, that is ARP, is present at the bottom of the network layer. So now let us see how this protocol works with an example. Now consider we have a device A which needs to send a packet to device B. But A only knows B's IP address, it does not know its MAC address. So A will send a ARP request which will contain the IP address of the required destination. So in this case it will contain the IP address of B. So the ARP request will be broadcasted, that is, it will be sent to all the connected devices. But only device B will send a ARP response with its MAC address because the IP address mentioned in the ARP request matches with that of B's IP address. Next protocol is RARP, that is Reverse Address Resolution Protocol. This is just the reverse of ARP protocol, that is, it is used to obtain the IP address when the MAC address is known. Next protocol is the IP protocol. IP stands for Internet Protocol, which is the main protocol of the network layer, which is used to send data over a network. Now we know that network layer is concerned with source to destination delivery. So this is done with the help of IP addresses. The different versions are IPv4 and IPv6. Also, this IP protocol is a connectionless protocol, or it provides datagram service, which means that there won't be any connection set up before sending the data. So since there is no prior connection before sending the data, when the packets are sent, they may arrive out of order at the destination. So then it is the responsibility of the higher layers to reorder the data. Also, it is unreliable because it just sends the packet. It does not keep a track if the packet has been really delivered or if the packets are lost. Next protocol is ICMP, which stands for Internet Control Message Protocol. Now we know that IP is unreliable and connectionless protocol, so there is no mechanism for checking for errors in the IP protocol. So as a result, ICMP protocol is used to report if there are any errors. For example, say the destination is not reachable, or if say some packets had to be dropped, then ICMP will report all the errors. Next protocol is IGMP, which stands for Internet Group Message Protocol. It is a protocol used to send messages to a group of recipients. Next, let us discuss transport layer protocols. The two main transport layer protocols are TCP and UDP. So TCP is a connection oriented protocol, which means that it will set up a connection before sending any data, whereas UDP is connectionless, which means there won't be any prior connection set up. Also, since TCP is connection oriented, it is more reliable because it will guarantee that the packets are delivered and in correct order, whereas UDP, since it is connectionless, it is less reliable as compared to TCP. Next, in TCP, the transmission is slower than UDP. Now, since it is connection oriented, first a connection needs to be set up. So as a result, the TCP transmission will be slower in comparison with UDP. See, TCP comparison not very slow, but just when it is compared to UDP, it will be slow because first a connection needs to be set up. Whereas in UDP, it will have faster transmission than TCP. Next, in TCP, error control has to be done, that is error control is important, whereas in UDP, error control, that is checking for errors, is optional. Then next, TCP has flow control mechanisms. What is flow control? We have already discussed earlier. So flow control mechanisms are present in TCP, whereas there are no flow control mechanisms used in UDP. As a result, it may discard some of the packets. So TCP is used where reliability is important, whereas UDP is used in application protocols which require faster transmission. Next, let us discuss the application layer protocols of the TCP/IP, or we can say the session, presentation and application layer protocols of the OSI model. So first one is HTTP or HTTPS. Now HTTP is used to access web pages over the World Wide Web. So the client or the user's browser will send a HTTP request and the server or the application running on a computer hosting a website will send a HTTP response. Now the difference between HTTP and HTTPS is that HTTP is not secure, whereas HTTPS will be secure. Another protocol is SMTP and POP. These are used for mail services, that is SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, which is used for sending the mail, and POP stands for Post Office Protocol, which is used for receiving the mail. Next protocol is DNS or Domain Name System. Now DNS is used to map the domain name with the IP address. Now say for example you want to open Facebook, then you won't type the IP address of Facebook, you will just type facebook.com. That is because all IP addresses are numeric and it is difficult to remember. So this translation between domain name and IP address is done by Domain Name System. Another one is SSL or Secure Socket Layer. This is used for encryption, that is it is used to provide security while sending the data. Also, these are just a few protocols which I have listed here, but actually there are many more protocols.